out there, it would be a shame to not experience it, Joe Andrews once said. A very good morning to everyone. I am Sampada, a student of third year BBA LLB. On behalf of the CMR University School of Legal Studies, would like to extend a hearty welcome to our respected dignitary who has joined us today for the guest lecture on exploring the study abroad opportunities and the preparations for the same. Studying abroad is a transformative experience that not only enriches one's cultural understanding but also boosts personal and professional growth. It offers a unique opportunity to broaden perspectives, enhance resumes, and unlock a world of career possibilities. The value gained from international studies sets individuals apart, making them stand out in professional arena. Today we have with us speaker Chinmaya Prasanna Kumar, our alumni, having completed his BA honors from CMR University School of Legal Studies and further completed his LL.M in Public International Law from Queen's Mary University of London. Sir Chinmaya Prasanna Kumar is a distinguished LL.M graduate from Queen's Mary University of London, having been accepted into some of the UK's top universities for his master's studies. He brings, he brings impressive portfolios of achievements, notably participating in over 100 Model United Nations conferences worldwide as both a chair and a delegate, securing numerous victories and spotlights, his exceptional negotiation and leadership skills. His post extends to moot court and debate competitions where he has garnered many accolades. Sir's commitment to excellence beyond individual achievements, he has represented commitment. He has represented the university in various extracurricular competitions, securing wins that underscore his versatile talents. As a mentor, he has guided numerous MUN and debate aspirants, sharing his experience and fostering a new generation of thinkers. His engagement in debates on legal, political, and human rights issues reflects his deep commitment to public affairs advocacy. Furthermore, Sir's dedication to advancing social welfare is evident by his involvement in multiple internships and projects focusing on policy and analysis, research, and making him a valuable voice in discussions on law, policy, and international relations. I will now request Mr. Yogesh MD, Alumni Relations Officer, CMR University, to please present the. Thank you, sir. Sir, I now welcome you once again to share your valuable insights. We are sure that this would be a great learning experience for all of us. The stage is all yours.
Hello everyone, good morning. It feels very different when you're standing here without that introduction. Just like, when I was there on where you were all sitting 2 years ago. Thank you so much for that introduction, means a lot, especially coming back to CMR. I'm sure you guys already know what the topic of today's discussion or today's lecture is going to be. It's basically to explore the study abroad opportunities and the preparations that are there. Just out of curiosity, how many of you here are thinking about going abroad or probably just have that at the back of your head? Can I just know that by if you raise your hands? I mean, that's a good number because I'm glad that so many of you have actually thought of it, because back when I was sitting there, basically, if you say in my second year or third year, I'm sure you're all the 6th sem students, and in third year, I just given it a thought, and a lot of my classmates had not, and it's quintessential that you think about it at an early stage, because a lot goes on to getting yourself out there, getting yourself into a university that is renowned and something that's going to offer you a lot of different opportunities. So it is better we start early, and that is what I spoke to Gayatri ma'am as well when she said we'll have this for the 10th semester students, and I said no ma'am, we'll have to have it for the younger ones because 10th semester is too late, and that is why we're going to be apologies, but then it is what it is. I'll also tell you what you can do better, and how to help better your situation. But then, in all honesty, in all honesty, it is how it is, and we'll see how we can go about with it. And that, definitely there are various opportunities for you to go around it, and that's what we'll also address later today. Yeah. With that being said, I'll be addressing it in terms of certain major criteria today. That is, we'll be going ahead with introduction to study abroad opportunities, where I'll be dealing with global legal systems, cultural immersion and soft skills, and real world applications and networking. I'll follow that by choosing the right program and what goes into choosing a particular program that suits you, your specifications, your requirements, and your, let's say, passion. And with that, we'll go ahead with more technical aspects, which include the application requirements and processes. This is one of the most and the biggest important step that is there for you to put yourself out into any university. And after that comes a small part, which is scholarships and financial aid, which for a lot of us is very important and something we need to think about much earlier in the process. From there, which is basically after we have gotten a offer letter, we'll go ahead with preparing for the experience, and then the visa and legal requirements, and just like abroad. And after return, we'll go ahead with these things, and also we can have a question and answer session in the end, and that will be the outline. So, any questions till now? Just out of curiosity, if you guys have anything to start off with. Yeah, alright. So we'll start off with the introduction itself, in which I'll be addressing the global legal situations that are there across multiple countries and their importances. I'm sure we all know that there is different legal systems that are out there: the common law system, the civil law system, the common law in US and a lot of other countries, the UK itself, and you have the civil law in a lot of European countries, which offer a varied amount of good LL.M programs that are there, be it the University of Amsterdam or be it the Leiden University. And you also have religious law in certain countries like the Saudi or the Middle East, which also do offer a good number of LL.M programs, which are particular to some niches that some of you might probably like to explore. And so this is what makes, this is what counts. You need to understand where you want to go first and what you want to do and how you want to go about with it. And that is the primary step that is there, where you need to know what exposure you are seeking out for. And then comes the cultural immersion and the development of soft skills. Because there is a whole lot of difference that is there when you go outside of the life of CMR or the life in Bangalore, and you go to a city that is completely new, a city that runs much differently than how it runs here. And more than just the life that is out there, it is the education system that works differently. Here we have textbooks. Here, your teachers are going to be giving you the important questions. We all struggle hard and try and find out what the important questions are. I have done it number of times. Gayatri ma'am is my witness over there, and you basically are kind of spoon-fed into your syllabus, and that is definitely not what's going to happen out there. The professors out there, especially when you go to a master's level, it is no longer being spoon-fed. They're just going to introduce you to the subject, and everything beyond that is what you have to find out. And that is where your capability comes into question, and that is where your passion comes into question, and that is why you need to choose something that you're passionate about. Because if not, if you're just led into a particular subject, you won't like it, and you would not have the interest to go ahead with it in extensively. And that being said, another thing we also need to realize why we want to go out abroad somewhere, in a top law university, is for the real world applications and the networking it brings us. We have amazing placement here, and Bangalore itself has a lot of opportunities. I'm not going to deny that, but there's a whole lot out there as well. There's a whole new corridor that opens up. This is primarily due to the fact that it is a given here that when you're into your BLLB or your LL.M, you mostly see fresh graduates over here. When you're doing your LLB or when you're doing your LL.M, there are not a lot of people who come with real world experience. They're usually fresh graduates, and that is because In India, we look at a system that is, you finish your academia first, you get done with it, and then you go out to start working. But that is not something you'll see a lot outside, because there you see a lot of people who are professionals who have been working, and that is one of the reasons why I was one of the youngest in my class, and I had people who had 30 years of experience as a lawyer in Brazil, and he was also my classmate and in one of my modules. And you see a lot of people who have 5 years, 10 years, 20 years experience, and that is where you learn, because it's not just the networking you're doing with the university or with the professors at the university, but it's also with the peers. You make contacts, because I met a lot of people who are advocates or Supreme Court advocates here, and I know for a fact I can reach out to them now, and we can work on projects or something like that, and that is what you're going to be exposed to. With that being said, we'll go ahead with choosing the right program and what all counts under this. I'll be covering certain aspects which are very important here, such as specialization and career goals, location and language considerations, reputation and accreditation, program structure and duration. So firstly, coming to specialization and career goals, this is what I was talking about all this while, where I need you to find out what your passion is and what you want to do further on. Is it human rights? Wonderful. There are multiple universities across which specialize in certain programs that that relate to human rights program. Be it the Notre Dame University at USA, which has a brilliant LL.M program in international human rights law, or be it the Columbia University itself, or even the Oxford Law School. They all offer brilliant human rights law programs. But the same when you look at another university which are similar on their ranking level, they don't offer similarly well structured human rights program. So when you find out what your passion is first, that is your key in identifying which university or which program you need to go into. And that is also true because if you want to go into an environmental law program, the Stanford University is good, but I would not recommend the Columbia University right there because of the experience that the faculty brings into a Stanford Law University. So that is what I'm trying to say here. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say. And next comes the location and language considerations. Yes, we're all going to be very happy when we get into maybe an English speaking university, because that is something that is within our comfort zone, because our medium of instruction here is in English, and most of our schooling probably have been in English, and that gives us that comfort zone. So there are two things that you need to choose: whether you want to stay in your comfort zone or whether you want to go out of this comfort zone. And that plays a key factor, because there are multiple universities that offer you good LL.M programs in the UK. I'm not going to deny that, but there are also universities in Germany, there are universities in Netherlands, there are universities in many other places, in Belgium itself, if you want to do policy, that offer brilliant LL.M programs with in tie-up with their governments, in tie-up with other universities across. And that is another example of what happens at Queen Mary University, where I studied. We have a dual LL.M program which is in tie-up with the Sorbonne Law School in Paris. So here you need to question yourself whether you want to stay in your comfort zone. That is well and good, because at the end of the day you need to understand what you're going to be doing out there. You're going to be giving assignments, you're going to be studying in a particular subject, and you're also going to be expressing yourself and working in that particular subject. And that, if it is in your comfort zone, well and good for you. I chose that. There are also universities such as the Leiden University in Netherlands, where a lot of these professors prefer to teach in Dutch, and they have translators, which probably is not within your comfort zone, but it will give you an opportunity to learn new languages. And trust me, when you know new languages, when you're working in probably a European country or anywhere outside, it is a brilliant key factor into your CV, and that is what plays a whole lot of difference. A lot of places, openings are there where they ask you for a known language to be French or Spanish or German or anything of that sort. And if you know this, you stand out from the rest of the crowd that probably you graduated along with. And that is another choice you have to make. And the next thing is reputation and accreditation. Again, now you've chosen which field you want to get into, you've chosen which country you want to go to, and now you need to choose which law school you want to get into, and that is where you need to look at in an extensive way, because you need more research. Yes, we'll all open up Google and we'll type out the best LLM programs in UK. I've done that, and it tells you a whole lot of different universities. It tells you Oxford, it tells you Edinburgh, it tells you LSE, it tells you Queen Mary, KCL, and all of them. But that is not what you're supposed to be going out with exactly, because they are good universities, but they are overall universities. That ranking is for the overall university ranking, and that is just not enough for you to make a decision. Because you need to look at what program that university offers. That is where you'll open up Queen Mary's website, or you'll open up King's College's website. You'll go through the different LLM programs that they offer. You'll do your research on the back end based on how these universities fare well in terms of that particular program. Because like I mentioned, the Notre Dame University, you'll probably not find it in the top 50 universities across the world. But for the international law, international human rights law, it is one of the best. If you want to look at, let's say, IT program, you won't probably find University of Edinburgh. If it's just the University of Edinburgh, it will probably be in the top 50 ranks across the world. But for the IT program, the intellectual property program, University of Edinburgh is in like a top 10, and that is what you need to look at. Sometimes people just say that you graduate from London School of Economics, which is brilliant. But is it the program that the London School of Economics is known for? That is what you need to question. And that is where you will have to find out. You will have to look at different rankings across the internet that is available. Go on LinkedIn, try and connect with different alumnus of those universities, the alumni of them, and just ask around with everybody that is possible. And there is no harm in asking around. That is how you're going to take a better decision, and a more informed decision. And with that comes the next thing, which is also pretty important, which is the program structure and durations. Take a call whether you want to do a full-time LLM program or a part-time 2-year LLM program, because some of us would want to work and also study. That way, a part-time LLM program will work brilliantly for us. That is what I'm looking at, maybe like a couple of years down the lane for another additional degree. But some of you would want to finish it off and then get into the working sphere. And that also makes absolutely sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. So make a choice, and then you'll also have to look at what pairs well with the timing that you're going to be going out. Because we have the Jan intake, we also have the September intake in most of the universities across. A lot of times what happens is the moment we finish here, in July we finish our exams, and if we are immediately going to be graduating and then going abroad, it is basically you'll have just about a month to get your visa, to get everything else sorted, and to leave. So see if the program you want is offered only in the September intake, or if it is offered in the Jan intake as well, because that will give you a little more time to get everything else sorted and to go ahead. Or if it is, sometimes the Jan intake won't have all of these programs. So take a call based on what fits into your schedule well and what gives you enough time according to how you want to handle it. So that is something you have to look at as well. Now going ahead with the application program processes and the requirements. This is something that a lot of us would need help with. This is something I took a whole lot of time to figure out. This is where a lot of education consultants also come into picture if you want to take their help. But out of true experience, I would recommend you to do this on your own, because the education consultants will help you, but then trust me, at the end of the day, they are not as concerned for you to be in that particular university as much as you are. If you want to get into LSE, it is your dream. It is something that you want to visualize. It is something that you want for yourself. It's not something that they want for you. At the end of the day, they will try maybe like 60% of their maximum capacity, but it's only you who can put in the additional 10% beyond your 100%, and that is what matters a lot. That is where your SOP comes into question. That is where your letters of recommendation play a huge role, and that is where your CV as well plays a whole lot of role. And the things that you need for an application process includes your academic transcripts and grades, your test scores, your standardized test scores, your letters of recommendation, your personal statement, which is also your SOP, your CV or resume, some writing samples, and the application process itself. So, things I want to mention here, your academic transcripts and your grades. Some of us play a whole lot during our first few semesters. We don't, consider the impact it's having on our grades. It is something that we all need to understand a whole lot and give importance right now, because you need to have that minimum 7 CGPA to make it into some of the best law schools. You need to have an 8 CGPA if you can strive to achieve it. I'm not going to say having 6 CGPA is not going to get you anywhere, or having a 6.5. Yes, a good number of law schools do offer programs for anything above 6 CGPA, but you also need to have a brilliant and a holistically, showcased CV for that. So if you are somebody who's not the best in academics, or if you're not maintaining a 7 CGPA, I'd recommend you build the rest of the aspects of your CV. Because here it's not IIT JEE where the first few ranks are going to get the seat and the rest will not be, because they're going to look at you as an individual, they're going to look at you as a student and what you will bring to their university, what value you're going to bring to their university. So if it's not the strongest in terms of academic, you will need to build upon your CV, be it your internships, be it some publications that you've done, be it your projects, be it anything. And that is one thing that we are doing good here at CMR University is all the research papers. Yes, we hate them. I'll agree. We've all been there, having to do two assignments, having to do 2 internals, and also your research paper along with presentations is a whole lot of things. But that is the norm right now, and that is how it's going to be. Get used to it. Put in that hard work into that research paper and get it published. Trust me, when you get it published, you stand out. We've all done how many? You have probably, through the course of 5 years, you would have at least had like 30 research papers, 30 plus research papers you would have had to submit. And each of them, at least if you publish 20 of them, that just puts you like, in the top 5% of the crowd. From being in the top 50% because of your academics or because of your extracurriculars, and being the top 5% because of the fact that you're showcasing you as an individual who will bring value in terms of your publications, in terms of your projects. It just brings you up a whole lot, when compared to another student. And that is all you need here. You need to stand out in terms of all the other students who are applying. And then apart from that, so that is why I'm just telling you guys, try and get your scores up. You do have time. That is why I said the 10th semester, it probably might be too late for you to bring that score up, or for you to, indulge in some more internships that you probably can if you had the time for. And this is where the 6th semesters have an upper hand, where you have a little more time. You have probably how many more? You have 5 more exams that you can put in a whole lot more effort. Put in that additional 20% or 30% and score that, just bring up that CGPA a notch higher. And that will help you guys a whole lot more. Trust me when I say that. And apart from that, the other 2 things that you need, which make a whole lot of difference, is your SOP, your statement of purpose, or your personal statement. This is something you need to give a whole lot of time to. This is you, and this is what you're pitching yourself. Think of it as though you're in Shark Tank, and you have somebody out there who is going to be critiquing every one of your action, and pitch to them as to how you can be the best value and the best asset to them. It has to talk about you, your passion for law, your passion for the program that they are offering, and why you are a best fit at that particular university. The University of Columbia, University of of Edinburgh or Oxford or London School of Economics, and all of these top universities, give a whole lot of importance to what you write in your SOP, and that is what determines whether or not you'll get a seat in that particular university. You can bring 5 years or 10 years of experience, you can bring an 8.2 CGPA to them, but if there's somebody who's put in more effort into selling themselves better and making themselves look better in that SOP, you have no choice. You have no chance, trust me. That is why you need to put in some effort into this, and that is why I said your education consultant will probably just use AI and write you an SOP. It might look fancy, it can look beautiful when you read it just out of glancing it, but it's not you, and any person will get to know it's not you, and only you can pitch yourself in a way that can come across to the other person. So spend some time on that SOP. And apart from that, your resumes, your writing samples, just try and build as much as you can. Put in some effort whenever you have time, instead of like wasting away a holiday, which we would love to do so after the exam period that has eaten half of our soul. You need to, if you want to go ahead, just do that an extra internship. Just like probably 4 hours or 5 hours in the evenings when you have that time, just go ahead, do something. Be it content writing, be it something like legal research for a firm or something like that. Do it. Anything that is at your convenience, at least, just do it. Try to do as much of it as possible. All of these play important roles when making you stand out in front of all the other competitors that are there. With that being said, we'll go ahead with the next point, which is scholarships and financial aids. Again, another reason why I said it is better off to start early is to find out number of scholarships that are available and to start applying for them beforehand. These things are not going to be they're not going to be cheap. My university fees was 26.5 lakhs, and I've had to spend about another 15 to 16 lakhs for my 1 year of allowance. It's not going to come cheap. That is why I didn't have enough time to apply for scholarships. I started pretty late, and I regret that till date. That is why I'm telling you, start off much early. There are number of merit-based scholarships that you can apply for. There are need-based scholarships. There are country-based scholarships. There are specialized scholarships and university scholarships based on which university you want to go ahead with. See what all scholarships they are offering, and see what all scholarships they are accepting, and see if you fit in that criteria. Go for it. Apply for it. And one place where probably 10th semester students who are probably looking at applying a year later after you graduate, where you will have an advantage, is with the Sheving scholarship, which requires you to have experience. As a fresh graduate, you can't apply for Sheving scholarship, but somebody with experience, at least a year of experience, you can apply for Sheving scholarship. So that is where the older ones have the upper hand. Any questions till now, guys? I've covered the major chunk of the application process and finding out what we're supposed to be doing. Any questions till now? Yeah, perfect, no problem. I'll take in more questions later on, so if you guys have anything else that comes up, you can always shoot. Going ahead with preparing for the experience, one major thing that is there, the cultural preparation. A whole lot of things will change in terms of how you live, how you're living with others, and who you're going to be living with. A lot of this makes difference. This is where probably not, during your academics, you could somehow fare it off, but the cultural experience and the living experience is what is going to test you mentally in terms of if you're going to be able to cope up with it. A lot of the hostel students here might probably have that, upper hand because they've already stayed away from family and they've tried to build a life around themselves being here. But a lot of us day scholars who have been in that, comfort of our houses, comfort of mama's food, comfort of dad getting us something that we want, comfort of our vehicles everywhere to take us around, all of that is going to be gone. And this is where you need to be tested, and this is where you will be tested quite brutally as well. So you need to understand where you are going after you have taken your application processes, after you have gotten an offer, and once you know you're going into a particular university, learn the place. Learn where you're getting at. Learn what you're getting into. Is it the cultural difference? Let's say, for example, if you're going to a university in Germany, there's a whole lot of difference in terms of uh, their living style and our living style. Learn it. It's going to be a whole lot of use for you, because only when you respect their culture, their values, and their legal principles, they will respect you. And only when you have this mutual respect, you can exist there in a particular way. And you can exist there without having, you know, to drain yourself mentally all that much. Learn the culture. It's going to be a cultural shock. And if need be, learn the language. If you go to Germany, there are not a lot of people, especially in the local grocery shops, who are going to speak English with you. If you're going to Netherlands, there are not going to be a lot of them who are going to speak that with you. So it's always better if you learn that. In Bangalore, we know a lot of us know a lot of different languages, so it is easier for us to accommodate a whole lot of different cultures here. But that's not going to be the same when you go to another university, somewhere abroad. And this is where I'm talking about understanding their culture, because only if you know that language a little bit to ease it for you will it actually become easy, because he doesn't care if you're there to study or not. He's just a local grocery guy who's going to sell you the fruit or the vegetable. And if he cannot understand you, he doesn't care. He has a whole lot of other customers. But it makes a whole lot of difference for you. And that is why I'm asking you, if you're going to one of these places, learn their language and learn their culture. It is just going to make your experience a whole lot better. With that, logical preparations. Another thing that plays a very important role is the accommodation and your visa requirements. Accommodation. Try and get this sorted out beforehand itself. There are a lot of student accommodations that most of these universities provide for. Apply for them beforehand. Every person who's going to be coming to the university, at least 90% of them, will be applying for these universities. Is there anything you guys are discussing I need to know? No? Perfect. A lot of these universities will be having their student accommodations, and it's always better when you're staying along with other students who are also, in that same environment as you are, because you guys can help each other out, and you're all going to be understanding of what you're all facing. Be it the exam period or be it the assignments period, every one of you will be studying. It's not going to be some place where somebody else is going to work, or you're just like having a chill time and you are having to sit there and study. That difference is enough to, keep you in merit or distinction. And that again matters for you. With that being said, we'll talk about academic preparation when you go ahead with choosing these universities. Try, and most of these people, it's not like how we have here, where you have a set module that you're going to be studying. You have to choose your modules, because you're no longer kids, you're no longer going to be spoon fed into the different laws that you're going to be learning. You choose what you want to do, and this matters a whole lot. After choosing what program you're going to be doing, you need to understand how to choose your modules as well, into what fits your timetable better and what fits your needs and specifications better. Go out there, connect with the professors on LinkedIn, send them a cold email, send them a cold message saying, I'm going to be coming to this particular university in this particular batch, and I read that you're going to be, teaching this. Is there anything that you would want me to know beforehand? Is there any material that would be helpful if I go through beforehand? Any topics, any subjects that would be beneficial for me to excel better in this particular module? Go ahead, send cold emails to that professor, send cold emails to the alumni, seek help, network. Because when you do this particular aspect, you're going to be put on the radar of that particular professor. They know that you're going to be going that extra mile to get your shit done, to get things done for you and to ease it out for you, and that you're somebody who is going to go out there and you're looking for excellence. You're not just going there to complete a degree and come back. You just don't want a fancy degree saying LL.M from a university abroad. That's not what you're going there for. You're going there for the education it's offering and the opportunities it is offering. So go out there, network, text them up, hit them up. LinkedIn is there, they have their emails. So go ahead, cold email. Send them cold emails. It's okay. It's all right. They all do it. We all do it, and you have to do it to survive. And apart from that, support networks and student welfare associations that are there in these universities. Be a part of them. We have a lot of. How many of you are all a part of one or the other club in the USA here? How many of you are all a part of at least one club in the USA? Is there a sports club? No, raise your hand. What are you sleeping? How many of you all participate in these clubs? Now, honestly, if you don't participate, if you're just there in that club, bring down your hands. Do you participate in these? If you do, good for you. And that is what I'd love for you to continue there, because all of this makes a whole lot difference into building your career. And this is why you're spending so much money to go out there. This is why you're trying to network out there. Go out there, be a part of these support groups, be a part of the student groups that are there. There are a lot of different things, be it there was a Kannada association group in Queenberry itself. There is a Desi students group. There's students union, which also have a lot of other projects that they do out there for. Go out, be a part of these, and these are offered across almost all the universities that are there. And these will offer you a good amount of social networking. This is where you can go out there. Somebody from that particular group who has graduated is probably working in one of the top 4 companies, or is working in a brilliant law firm that you would want to be a part of. Now that he knows that you're also a part of this club, it just gives you that edge for him to refer you into that company. And each of these edges is what you need to bank upon into getting into that particular place you desire for or you dream about. With that, there are a lot of other things which probably we don't have the time for, such as, do we have time? Time. We do have time, right? Okay. Yeah, no problem. So there are a lot of other things that you'll also have to take into consideration, be it the financial background that you need to get sorted. Different countries have different requirements. The UK needs you to have a particular amount of money for 28 days. Germany requires you to show bank statements for 3 months. USA has a different thing. So get all of this checked beforehand. Work on these. Spend a lot of time. If you're in your 8th semester and if you're in your 6th semester right now, and if you want to attend a university abroad for LL.M, as soon as you graduate after your 10th semester, then the best time for you to start applying is at the end of your 8th semester. Because all of these applications open up 1 year before, and they'll get filled about 4 or 5 months into opening up. If you're planning on going for 2025 September intake, then 2024 September you start with your application processes. You start opening up accounts, you start familiarizing yourself with these application processes, start working on your SOPs, and by the end of December, before the Christmas break that they're going to go for, try and send out your first round of applications. Because that way, by February or March maximum, you'll get back responses from them, and that will just give you enough time to prepare the further logistical requirements that you need. So plan all of these. Understand each aspect that you're going to be doing, be it your SOP, be it the visa process, be it anything. Understand each of it. Just don't ask anybody and think your knowledge is complete about it. Do your research on it, because after this, it's no longer a textbook that is going to guide you. It's no longer a professor that's going to guide you. You have to guide yourself. You need to step into your own shoes. You need to step into the shoes that you want to be, and you need to take action as need be. Yeah, with that, we'll open up the floor for any questions. If you guys have anything, I'd be glad to address them. Be it visa requirements, be it opportunities outside, anything that we have said or anything beyond what I've said right now. Yes.
Okay, so Chinmaya, I have an A level in German. Okay, and I want to go to Germany.
Okay.
So what are the chances of a student, let's say from the University of Brussels or some city in Germany, probably getting a job, let's say in the magic circle in London, in Allen and Overy or something like that? So how does it work?
That is is where your networking matters, because you will have the same amount of opportunity or the same amount of, you'll be at this equal ground after you finish your LLM, be it from a university in London or be it in a university in Germany, because everybody knows that you have done your masters. But what they don't know, or what varies from a student who's done a university, graduated out of, let's say, Greenwich University or Queen Mary University, and you from a German university, is what you have done while you were at university. Be it networking with the people who are there in London to the company that you want to get into, or networking with your professors who have connections here. That is the extra step you need to take, and that is the extra step any person needs to take. The market right now is difficult everywhere, be it Germany, be it UK, be it anywhere else. All of them will look at what you bring to the table. So it does not matter if you have graduated from LSE. It's not guaranteed. It's not like you graduated from NLS and you get a placement over somebody who's graduated from CMR, because that differentiation is going to stop after your BLLB. Because once you go out there, even if you're in the 50th ranked university and you're competing against somebody who's in the 4th ranked university, it matters as to what you have done while you were at university. Reach out to all of these people, because you want to go cross borders, you want to go work in London. So reach out to the people who are working there, or somebody who you want to work with, maybe some senior under the department that you want to work with. Reach out to them, ask them what are the requirements for you to go work there, and how would it be, what would help you in, what should you do to get yourself there. That way you're putting yourself on the map, on his radar as well. And then do those things, because you need to do it. It's not just asking them, you need to act on it after that. Go to your networking events. There are going to be a whole lot of job placement opportunities and fairs that are going to be happening across all the universities that are there, because that is a part of something that they need to offer to students. And when universities do come in that time, or these different firms come in, talk to them and ask them and network. Come to London sometime, if you're studying in Germany, come to London sometime. Try going to these places, try asking if they have some internships or if they have graduate schemes. And if they have a graduate scheme, amazing. Start working with them. Yeah. Yes.
So when we write SOP on our own, not with the help of agents, so sometimes we lack as to how to structure the SOP and how to put our personal experiences in the past for the particular module. For example, if I'm using the criminal law module,
Of course.
and putting our back, for example, internships and CVR and communications on that particular SOP. So we face struck while making that SOP structure. Is there any insight on how to get rid of it?
Yeah, see, I'm not going to negate completely not to use anybody's help, because I have had my CVs, I've had my SOPs reviewed by a lot of different people. I've had it reviewed by people online, I've had it reviewed by people who have gone to university, who have gone abroad for these universities, and I've had people who I know are good with English and good with content writing, and ask them to review it as well. Seek help, that is what I'm saying, right? Understand what is needed in this SOP, what is needed to be put in that SOP, and try and tailor it accordingly. And if you need help, seek it. I'm not going to deny, don't. Go online, go through all the templates that are there, go through all the available SOPs that are there, see something that strikes your eye, something that you can relate to. Take excerpts from that and try and write something similar. If you like a particular style of writing, if you think that emanates what you are as a person, try and do something similar. Nobody is going to say no to that. Because at the end of the day, you need to show who you are and what value you bring. Go ahead, talk to people, get it reviewed, ask your professors to review it. Go ahead, do all of that. Yes.
So, I mean, like, as far as I was, because before joining CMR, I had applied to a different kind of degree and I had applied abroad. So, what I'd heard is if we have extracurricular, for example, like, I'm into sports and stuff and I have achieved on a certain level. So, when I was applying for that degree, because it was undergrad and it was not taught, it was a separate field on the whole. So, it did give a lot of weight there. But if I'm applying for LL.M now abroad, do you think this, if I don't have, like you said, the CGPA up to 7 or 8, do you think this would hold strong for it as well?
You can. It makes a whole lot of difference when you put across what these achievements are and how you have, how that has structured you as a person. Talk about how all these sports has structured you as somebody who is, who's a whole lot more complete than somebody who's just into academics. Right about that. That is where I'm talking about why your SOP matters. Here is where you prove why this sport that you have achieved so much in is going to make you somebody better. Yes, all of these application processes will have a separate column where it has achievements where you can jot down all of these things. But that is not everything that they're going to look in or take into consideration. But it's all about how you put across these achievements into your SOP or in your CV that matters. They do take it into consideration because a lot of these universities also play sports. And if you look at US university, you do understand the very fact that a lot of universities in US work on how these people play football, and they draft them basically on that. And a lot of universities across have a lot of importance in terms of sports as well. So they will take it into a good amount of consideration because all these universities, just like how we keep going to Kolkata, we keep going everywhere else to compete, they will also be. And they will look at you as somebody who's going to bring value not just to academics but to the university itself. So it does make a whole lot of difference. You can always add it and just know how to add it and how to structure it. Right? If there's no other questions, I'd like to thank Gayatri ma'am for this opportunity and for the university and for everybody who's made this possible. And I just hope that I could, probably convince you an additional 1% to take up these opportunities abroad. And if I'm able to, clear at least 5% of the doubts that you have, I consider this a success. And with that, I'd like to sign off. Thank you so much, guys, and all the best to all the people.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful session. It was truly amazing. So now we move to the word of hand. First and foremost, I would like to convey our deep sense of gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Chinmaya Prasanna Kumar, sir. We are truly honored that sir has taken time out of his busy schedule to grace us with his presence. Your insight and wisdom shared with us today serve as a great source of encouragement for our future endeavors. We extend our heartfelt thanks to our Dean Professor Dr. D.R. Subramania and Director Professor Dr. V.J. Pranishwaran sir, whose support has been instrumental in making this event possible. A special word of thanks also goes to our faculty coordinator, Ms. Gayatri ma'am, whose contribution, knowledge and support have played a significant role in shaping our efforts and making them successful. Last but not least, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all the students present here for your cooperation. Thank you and have a great day.